Hello everyone, this is my new video. It's about some maintenance of the Pro Air driveline. As you've seen my older videos, I already make a rebuild for the front diff and for the PTO. And now I want to check the bearings in the transmission. First of all, I thought if I want to pull out the gearbox, then it's easier if I take out the front differential. And if I take out the front differential, I can check it. It's not a big deal to check it if everything is going well inside. As you know, I was changing this brass bearing. I was also changing the inside small bearings. It looks good. I'm checking for cracks on the crown, on the gear. There are no cracks. I'm checking for cracks on this gear. There are no problems, but this is a problematic needle bearing. I'm gonna change it if it's apart, but everything looks just fine. I think it's okay. And when it was highly abused, it still looks okay, and its performs. It's doing his job. As for the PTO, I think I'm gonna add some kind of breathing hole, because I had a leak from the primary side, and I think it's because I put in way too much oil inside. Possibly some kind of like breathing hole on it, like on every transmission, could help its performance, but it's tight, it's okay, it's good, it's running well. This is the first time I'm taking apart. As you see the blue color, I'm using the motul oil. What is holding up, it's good, but I'm always overfilling the transmission and always overfilling the differentials with at least 0.1, 0.2 liter capacity. I'm doing it that I'm bending a little bit my car, and so I can fill up a little bit more. So when I took apart this gearbox, what I was really amazed, there was no problem, like it's okay. I also have this sleeve on my PTL to hold it up a little bit well. My previous owner put it in there, but what I was really amazed, that this is the reverse gear. You see, it's the reverse gear bearing. It's that small. Please don't abuse your machine in reverse. It's very small. It's there to make like a reverse, but it's don't hill climb it in reverse and things like that. It's small. It's a joke. These bearings are very big, looking just well, but China, you see. I think that some of the bearings were already like this bearing, I think was already like changed by the previous owner, because if you can see, here is like a seal type, and also here. And if you cannot buy the bearing without the seal, the closed one you are buying, because you cannot buy the opened one, so you take out this seal from both sides, and I think that those bearings were already like changed, but now I want to change everything. But as you see, these big bearings in the middle, it's okay, but I really cannot understand that here is the secondary clutch. The secondary clutch is bending, it's steering, it's everything, and here is just a small bearing, and there are huge bearings, and also there is a small bearing on the output shaft to the front, and also on the output shaft to the rear. Here is the cardan, here is the drive shaft, tearing it in every side. It's going like nice here. Nothing is steering, just the gears are pushing here. Nothing is steering here, but they got like very big bearings on them, and they put on the demanding places just a small bearing, and the chinesium bearings. So it's okay. It's the bearings like these big ones are looking well. I think they were like already changed, so possibly it's a good thing to change it. My machine has like 75 horse overall, and this is the second time I think that I take apart this gearbox after the first owner, and the bearing should be already changed, just to keep in mind, and never abuse in the reverse gear. So I'm gonna take it apart, measure all the bearings. There are just half of the bearings measurement in the catalog. You can find like only half of them on the catalog, that which bearing is what. Usually there are like just part numbers, and there is somewhere, I think this is 30, it's an odd in inch type roller bearing, but possibly I will not be able to get here in Europe, but all of the other bearings are available, and you can buy it if you go into the bearing shop, and you can buy Koyo, you can buy FAG, you can buy SKF or anything good, and it's gonna hold up well. Okay, that's it now. Okay, I just took it apart, and I thought that these bearings are like already changed. There is no number. Never mind. This changing the ganger is a little bit like, take care of it. It's a mess. And here is inside one bearing. Oh, this phone is like, okay, I hope it changed. Yeah, you can see, you can clearly see the chinessium, and here is the place for the lip, you see. So Polaris from the factory is using not proper bearings, because it's not the open type of bearing, but it's a closed type bearing, but the seal is removed. Here's the parking ring. Here are the docks. If you can see, the parking has some kind of slope, so it's not looking hardly, but looking. Here, if you can see, it has some undercut, so it not lets out under load. It not lets out from the gear. It's clever. They had a problem, I think. On my turbo I had a problem that sometimes it popped off. And here is, this also seems to like have undercut. And here also, you see, it's not 90 degree, but smaller. Okay, it's good. That's good. Okay, and here is the reverse shaft. You see that reverse shaft with these bearings. You see that? Isn't it a joke? Isn't it a joke from Polaris? But it's still holding up, so it's okay, but I would not reverse on hills and things like that. Okay, I'm going to write down all the bearing numbers, and after that I will show you. Guys, I do not know. All of the bearings are loose fit, but I had to use heat for this one. So is this assembled? I made a measurement. And here are the list of the included bearings. I take it like this. It's all normalized metric bearings. I bet it's C3 because of the heat, but I'm pretty sure that a normal one with no C3 would also work here. Okay, so I'm back together. So I just controlled the front diff, and there are like this bushing, what is here was perfect, and just changed the needle bearing on the input shaft end, but everything looked fine. It has like 20 hours on it from the last service, so you can look up that video what I was like doing. The diff was okay, nothing, no problem with it. Okay, so here are the bearings what I changed in the transmission, and here is my PTR reset tool for adjusting the torque for the PTI unit. But should be adjusted a lot of times, because if you are racing or you are pushing it hard, it usually like happens. And there is the PTO, that's the PTO, that's the PTL inside. This is the front diff, and this is the gearbox, the transmission. Okay, the difference here, I have a video about it, so I wouldn't like really take a lot of time about it. You can see everything there. It was fine. It was a very good. I have some tools like here, like this shit I'm using to put the seals back and things like that, to not hurt the lips of the seals. So you can make from your, it's from the drinking bottle. Okay, so there is one what I showed. I have it on the different like part I recorded, that I needed heat for one bearing inside the gearbox. The bearing what is under the locking ring, the P parking ring, and I used for those bolts on the parking ring red Loctite, and I'm using for the cases like blue Loctite. I would also really recommend using this assembly loop for pressing in the bearings. It makes a lot less stress for pressing fits. It's a very good thing. And for taking apart the transmission, changing the bearings, you will need this bearing puller. This kind of, you do not have to buy the same, but this kind of like bearing puller. It's everything together what goes about the whole service. What I was like amazed when I taken it apart, it's a little bit like jiggling move. Those bolts like came loose when I removed from the car. I didn't take care about that yet. One other thing here, that my shifting was pretty hard, and it was connected that this shaft wasn't well lubricated. It's possibly because that it's in a high spot and no like oil is getting there, and also is the second part of the box, possibly no real oil flow is there. But anyway, I put on some assembly lube and it's like moving easy. It was very hard before. I think the shifting is going to be like better. So also, if you are like having a shifting issues, it's very hard to shift, possibly can be connected with this shaft scissor in this hole. Okay, it's a little bit tricky to put together this like gearboxes and everything, but everything has like a good like K-way cutters inside, and also there is on the gear some kind of like marking, like two marking and one marking. It's very well done. It's like easy. I think it's no problem. So here's the breather of the gearbox, and there is one other breather, but it's not the gearbox, it's for this part. There is also like you can drain if some oil gets here, and oil can get here from the PTI unit. No PTI, sorry, PTO unit, what is on the primary clutch, or from the engine crankshaft seal. If you have some problem, if you have some oil here, it means that you have got a problem with one of them. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the bearings. So what I already said, this on the reverse is pretty small. It's like everything is got like some kind of like China bearings. This this pier, China, pier, China. I think actually this is the bearing what should be like heated before. China. It's actually fog, you see? Fog, but China. China. Fog, China. Pier, China. Pier, China actually is the same. Okay, and Pier, China. But I'm really amazed that, okay, this bearing is like no sealed type bearing. It's okay for the transmission. But look about this. You can even find that it's 2 RSR. Here is the place where the seal is going, and from the factory they are installing bad bearing, like not like bearing with seals, and they have to wash out, or this manufacturer is not having like open type bearing from this type, and I do not know. It's pretty strange for me that from the factory it's also 2 RS, but it's not. You see, this one the same, I think. Also also and also the small ones having some. Anyway, I do not think that the bearings had like a big problem or something, or should be changed. I have in my car like 75 engine horse, but you know, here in Europe we do not really like China's bearing, so it's like a precaution, so I changed it. And there is one more thing what I really do not like, that this PTA unit, and yeah, this is not the PTA unit, actually is the PTR case. So it's a one output shaft for the rear, and the second output shaft for the front is actually the PTR, and it has like this like bushing style something, and it's not really running on bearing, so it's like it can jiggle around a little bit. It's I do not think it's the best way to do it. I would make like wall bearings or something like that. I do not like if something is jiggling, but anyway, it's holding up, and I think if you get into the problem, the first problem with the bearing is gonna be like on the output shaft. Yeah, this is small like the backwards, like the reverse bearing, but you do not really use that. Anyway, don't hammer it. And those big bearings, the only concern with those big bearings should be only that what's the maximum RPM rating for them, but otherwise I think they are good, they shouldn't fail. So when I put together the gearbox and the differential. I used to use the motor gear, the blue one. It is a blue color, 75E140. For the case I'm using Loctite. And also here is not like a Polaris used to put everywhere like O-rings and sealing with that, but on the transmission here, on the shifting case and on the main case, you need some silicone and RTV. I was using this RTV, it's kind of okay. So here is again like what kind of bearings are there with the dimensions. Here is in the front differential. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Okay, so one more thing. During reassembly of the gearbox with the engine, I have got into this problem. My car has never been disassembled. And you see, it's an old fracture. Just a teeny new piece. It is a new fracture. Here also. And those bolts are installed from the factory. You see? It's already drilled out, but I just want to say for everybody, like a safety measurement, please change those bolts what are between the engine and gearbox. That's it now.